I'm Susan Hutchison. Thank you for joining us. I want to talk to you today about the most serious and immediate threat to the region's economy and well-being, the floods along the Green River resulting from problems at the Howard Hansen Dam. I've said for 2 months that we need to be working 24/7 to shore up the levees to prevent the disaster. Today, I suggest we call up the Marines. But first, some background. In order to prevent a catastrophic failure of the dam abutment during heavy rains this winter, the Army Corps of Engineers will relieve pressure behind the dam by releasing excess water into the river, which could overtop the levees downstream and flood low-lying areas of Kent, Auburn, Renton, and Tukwila. Unlike the annual flooding of local rivers onto pastoral floodplains, the Green River floodplain is one of the most densely developed industrial areas of the West. In fact, the Warehouse Distribution Center of Kent and Auburn is the second busiest on the West Coast and is considered to be a $23 billion economic engine for the county and the state. Thousands of businesses are located there, including the Boeing Commercial Airplane Company headquarters. The lowlands are home to 30,000 residents, including senior and low-cost housing. The county, Boeing, and other businesses are spending millions to protect their assets, and people who can are moving to higher ground. But as we saw with Katrina, the poor and the vulnerable will suffer the most. Officials have told residents and businesses to buy flood insurance and to prepare themselves for a flood emergency. And even if this year is unusually dry, the Corps predicts that it could take 5 years to fully stabilize the dam, so the threat of flooding would be a constant concern in the years ahead. It is unquestioned that we face an economic, environmental, and human disaster that could cost billions of dollars and ruin many lives. What is questionable is why authorities are focusing on emergency preparedness measures while precious time passes without action to prevent the disaster from occurring. We should be doing everything humanly possible to shore up the levees to prevent the flooding. Upon taking office, November 24th, 2009, as your county executive, I will move immediately through jurisdictional channels to call up the engineering units of the local Marine, Army, and Air Force at nearby Fort Lewis and McChord to work under the direction of the Corps of Engineers to build up the most at-risk, perilous sections of the levees. The 4th Landing Support Battalion of the U.S. Marines, located at Fort Lewis, has engineering assets, which it uses for training purposes to build community projects. Let's get the feds to authorize an all-out effort on this most urgent community project. I will issue a call to action to focus all elected officials, businesses, volunteer organizations, and citizens to unite in efforts to do whatever is necessary to prevent flooding and prepare for an emergency. I will work with the city mayors of Kent, Auburn, Renton, and Tukwila to ensure regional collaboration in anticipating and solving problems related to prevention and preparedness. I will call upon the Corps to provide weekly alerts reporting current flow levels and flows against the target pool levels and flows expected for various dates ongoing now through the spring. I will call upon the Corps to complete inspections of the riverbed between Kent and the Duwamish to check for obstructions that would slow the flow during high runoff periods. These obstructions must be removed. I will work closely with the governor and our congressional delegation to procure federal funding for preventative measures now in order to save federal dollars later. And I will inspire volunteers from throughout the county and the region to join in sandbagging and environmental disaster prevention efforts. My opponent, who is chair of the county council, says he's been in meetings since May. But what we need is action. We needed action months ago, as business leaders, mayors, and citizens were expressing to me their deep concerns. If the thousands of businesses in the valley trusted government to protect them, they wouldn't be investing millions of their own dollars to protect themselves. Upon election, I will be the leader of this all-out effort. I will be the advocate for those who need government to take action, and I will fight for you. That is my promise. Thank you.